Because remember, there's that saying whereby the more you help other people achieve what they want to achieve, you get what you want. So who did you help during these times that allowed you to achieve these things? Are you still in touch with those people? What have they achieved? What have you created? What have you got in your life right now that if the thing during this time didn't happen, you wouldn't have that now? But you forgot. You forgot how you joined the dots going backwards. You realize, wow, this thing I wouldn't have today if it wasn't for that decision, that sliding door moment which you created. Do you remember everything that you've achieved in your life? Now, I mean everything. And sometimes we forget what we've really achieved because we have a recency bias. And the recency bias is we focus on the things that we've recently achieved or not achieved and what we want to create. But what we don't look at is all the times in our lives where, based on where we are at that time, we've achieved some enormous things, some great things. And I'm going to show you something today called the Achievement Timeline. Will help you understand and remember every single thing that you've achieved in your life in detail, that you can use that to build your confidence, to increase your self-esteem, to be more creative now, to achieve more now. Because recency bias can be good in one aspect, but not good in other aspects, because it sort of distorts your view of the value you've created in your life. It distorts your view of what you can achieve, because you look at the recent events and say the recent events have not been great for whatever reason, that you haven't achieved much or haven't achieved based on what you want to create, and things haven't worked out, you've had a run of bad luck. So we have this then notion that think, well, wow, that's what I'm like. And we forget all the things that we've achieved in our life. And the achievement timeline, which I'm going to show you in a minute, will help you, will give you a great structure to allow you to remember all the great things you've achieved, but also at the time you achieved them. And that's key, because the time you achieved them, when you look back, you think, wow, I achieved that then with that lack of experience, that lack of knowledge. Because sometimes we have this notion that we can't achieve certain things unless we have experience or certain education or certain people around you. And then when you start to think, actually, I achieved that thing with not much experience. I gained that bit of success without knowing much. And then it gives you and lifts you that confidence. This lends itself to negativity bias, because negativity bias is we focus on the things that we haven't done. We focus on the things that we haven't achieved. And we focus on the things that actually we feel that brings our confidence down, because we compare our chapter with other people's chapters. But allow yourself to think, actually, where you are in your life compared to someone else is not a great comparison, because you don't know their story. They don't know your story. And sometimes when we remind ourselves of the things we achieved, that in itself is enough to propel us to the next stage. So why remembering everything you've achieved in your life is a great thing? It's crucial because this, number one, it helps you identify who you are, your identity and your self-worth. Because once you know who you are and what you've achieved and your self-worth, you can achieve anything. Number two, it increases your confidence and momentum. And when you have great confidence and when you have momentum, you start to create things effortlessly, because you just get on with stuff. You're not overthinking things. You're not overanalyzing, and you're drawing upon the success you have, the success you're achieving in that moment to achieve more. You start to spot what works for you, your patterns of growth. You start to think, actually, when I have this kind of mindset, I can achieve this. When I create this kind of plan, I can achieve this. So you start to identify the things that you need to have in place that allows you to achieve more. And that again, when you look at your achievement timeline, you can see, when I approach it this way, I achieve more. When I surrounded myself with these kind of people, I achieve more. When I adopted this strategy, I achieve more. And when you start to understand your patterns of growth, guess what? You can draw upon them straight away, which gets you out of a rut, gets you out of a funk, and starts helping you achieve. And what it also does, which is really underestimated, is experience is a great thing, but only when you can draw upon it.